I'm drunk on focaccia.
I can see why it's taken. More goes than usual. Okay, here we go.
All right.
I believe in you, Beck.
Come with us now on a journey through time and space. Welcome to the world of the problem squared. A problem squared. Come with us to a problem squared.
I don't know what it is you're doing.
Yep.
I mean, I know what it is you're doing.
Neither do the listeners.
And I frequently don't know what it is you're doing.
Welcome
But
to...
this time, very specifically, I don't know what it is you're doing.
No. Welcome to A Problem Squared. That other voice you can hear is Matt Parker.
Thank you.
This voice you can hear is Beck Hill. And that intro was my best attempt to copy niche British comedy duos TV intro, The Mighty Boosh.
Oh, that's it. It's Boosh. Yeah.
Yeah.
As soon as you said British comedy, I'm like, yeah, it's the Boosh intro.
Yeah, it's a Boosh intro.
Who's who?
Oh, I wonder. But if you're a new listener, you might need to know that the
Let's
Howard
explain
Moon...
why that's so funny. Yeah.
The Howard Moon of this show is Matt Parker.
Thank you.
I am the Vince Noir.
I'm always the straight guy.
I think what I most enjoy is both pretending like I annoy you a lot and then sometimes genuinely annoying you a lot.
You don't know which is which.
In this episode,
I answer the question, how many bees?
I look at how long honey.
We've got some pun closure.
We could say any other business, but we've already
Any
used
other
that.
business? No, we've done
You
that.
already
We've done
did.
business.
Yeah. So Matt,
Beck.
how you going?
All right. I'm
We-
going okay.
We talked a lot in the previous episode about what we've been up to
Yes.
since America.
Since America.
And then we realized afterwards,
We haven't done anything else of note, really.
yeah, to talk about in this one.
Well, I did realize one thing I did.
Oh, yeah.
Also in America. Not to continue that theme, but that was the highlight of my recent life. I planned my own logistics for the tour. Myself and Alex, who holds a camera and points it at me and edits the videos.
Yes.
Flew and drove through many states to make a whole bunch of videos. And I went through and I booked all the hotels. And when I was booking the hotels in the past Matt would look up where nearby establishments served food and beverages and until what time.
Okay.
Because I kind of knew the days where we're likely to get to the hotel late. And there's nothing more upsetting than getting to the hotel at the end of a long day.
Yeah.
And there's no food or anything available anywhere
Yeah.
nearby.
I mean, there's definitely more upsetting things, but
Oh, definitely more.
But I think everyone can agree that there's nothing more upsetting than doing something long and tiring and then realizing you can't get food.
Can't get food. And so I just thought I would insure against it. It's an avoidable problem. Not always. It's still, things will go wrong. But I thought for the best part, I'll make sure I book hotels near where we can get food and drinks. And so I'll often book in somewhere that does some fun local beers. And so it became a bit of a game of whenever we show up to a hotel, it'll be, why did past Matt book this hotel?
Oh, yeah, right.
Because
Yeah.
I've long forgotten
Yeah.
which hotel. It's a blur.
Yeah.
And so we'd get there.
It's like Memento.
It's like Memento. Except on my body, I've written what beers I want to try.
Yeah. You're looking for clues around the hotel.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I just Google craft beer and Google Maps will be like, oh, you happen to be a block away
From a microbrewery.
brewery.
Yeah.
Well, how did that happen, right? And past Matt did me a solid many times over.
Yeah.
And one time, past Matt went above and beyond their Call of Duty without even realizing. Because we got to Raleigh in North Carolina and I searched for craft beer nearby. And on the same block of land as the hotel was the Raleigh Beer Garden.
Oh.
And I was like, past Matt, good work.
Yeah.
So we pop around there and they do food till late. All the, they tick all
Perfect.
the standard boxes. Cruise around there and they're like, have you been here before? And we're like, no, we haven't. And they're like, oh, just so you know, this is the world's biggest beer garden.
What?
And that was our response. We looked around and we're like, that doesn't look like it. But no, by one specific metric, number of beers on tap. The beer garden was embarrassingly small
Okay.
compared to the number of beers available and the seating indoors. Like,
see.
I wouldn't have even called it a beer garden. I think there was a bit more garden at the back than we saw.
Yeah.
But it was like any other kind
Is it
of...
like a beer courtyard?
Yeah, it had the indoor-outdoor dining vibe.
Okay.
But I wouldn't say it was a big... I'm thinking beer gardens like... I've been to places in Germany that are just massive beer gardens. And even the UK, like most pubs have a bigger beer garden than this place.
Yeah.
But most pubs do not have 400 beers on tap.
What? On tap?
400 distinct beers on tap. Or like 396 or something. Yeah, so they got the world record
Whoa.
for the most beers on tap.
Where do they store all the... What?
Ah, a lot of kegs.
So many kegs.
So many. Yeah.
How long does a keg go before it goes off once it's been tapped?
You know, I would say I'm guessing 2 to 4 weeks. Total guess. It's more than a week. It's less than 3 months would be my... Oh, then again, this is like pressurized kegs. It depends if it's pasteurized beer. But you're right. What kind of turnover are they getting?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just a wall of taps. So for people who've not been to the UK, if you go into a normal UK pub, there's going to be a bunch of like hand cranked taps.
I'm looking it up now. I want to see.
Yeah, look it up. And there's a bunch of like pressurized ones. And they've all got like the badges above them. And there's maybe between 5 and 15.
Yeah.
In America, most places have super skinny badges or have them sideways.
Yes.
And they rack them in. But then you end up with places with like, 20 or 30 maybe.
Wow. Like the taps are only
There
like...
are several floors. That
Right.
is the ground floor, which is local beers. And then a different floor has
wow.
like other US beers. Then a different floor has like imported beers.
I like that local beers is like, it's the closest. Like you just walk in and it's...
The local beers are the closest
The further the beers come from, the
state,
further you have
they
to
are
get.
from the ground. Yeah, that makes sense.
Wow.
To be fair, I only sampled the ground floor.
I'd love to see behind this. You know,
I love to see their tubing.
if you're from Raleigh, North Carolina,
I'll come back.
and
I want a behind the scenes tour.
you have any ins?
Anyway, the moral of the story here. Well done, past Matt, is what I'm trying to say here.
Yeah, well done.
Yeah. Good job, past Matt. Have you been?
Oh yeah,
How is current and past Beck?
Now, at the time that this comes out, but I haven't told you this, and I don't know if I don't actually think I'll have time because
I'm putting my coffee down for
only
this.
there briefly.
Yep.
But I will be co-hosting Brussels Comic Con.
Hey, Brussels Comic Con. Oh, I think I know where this is going.
So I don't know if I'll
Up a
have
lot of
time
stairs.
because it's a real... Because I have to come back on
You've got
Sunday
a
night.
job and you're working.
Yeah. Well, Monday I'm going to be on set for a thing that I talked about in the Patreon podcast.
Well. Yes, we'll keep that quiet.
They're filming something. Yeah. And you'll never know unless you're a Patreon.
Once it's allowed to be publicly discussed,
we'll see.
We'll see.
See what I'm allowed to say.
Oh yeah, good point.
Yeah. But essentially though, look, in November, if you see any crafty thing and you're thinking, I
Wonder who made that.
bet Beck Hill would enjoy
would
this.
love that.
I probably
Way
made
ahead
it.
of you.
Yeah. So I need to be back for Monday to film that in the morning.
Gotcha.
I could go early on Friday morning and then I would have Friday during the day to potentially check
wondering
out
what's
a
going
long
on,
staircase.
I want someone to go to the monument at Waterloo, where the Battle of Waterloo happened. They then put up a monument with lots of steps. I want to break the world record for most steps Slinky's gone down. And so we need someone to go and measure a sample of steps. And then, if we've confirmed that they are suitable for a Slinky world record attempt, obviously then I've got to negotiate filming access. Or smuggling a Slinky. But smuggling in a Slinky to a war memorial feels like... And I just want to say, it was like the war was over 2 centuries ago.
Yeah.
I don't know where the Slinky line is, though.
I feel, yeah. Because there's part of me that's like, well, it's a tourist attraction. They charge entry. Like,
Yeah.
to be fair, I think if there was any level of disrespect going on, it was the point that they started charging people.
Turning up. Oh, it's got upkeep.
Yeah, but
it's got to cost money to...
yeah, but there's many other war memorials that,
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
that because
good
it's
point.
about going there and the emotional.
See, now I think that amount of history and that type of battle, it's just history buffs want to go.
It's just history, which means it's not necessarily a disrespectful thing.
That's why I'm thinking it might be Slinky appropriate.
Yeah, and so if they're charging, what they want is customers.
Well, this would be good promotion.
Yeah,
People, history buffs and
Slinky enthusiasts.
buffs. Yeah, exactly. Fans of weird world records beaten by using mathematics.
I'd love it if they didn't want anyone to do it because they were worried of starting a trend where people were showing
People
up
show
to
us
the
Slinkies.
memorial with slinkies. I mean, in a way, it's an analogy for war, isn't it?
I think so.
It all goes downhill.
It all goes downhill.
Yeah.
One thing tips over the other.
Yeah. Coil Springs.
Coiled Springs. Not a history podcast.
Anyway, by the time this comes out, I've already hosted Brussels Comic Con.
Yep.
Hi.
Oh, yeah.
If you said hi to me, hi.
If anyone is, not to hijack your catching up bit, but do let me know at problemsquared.com if you want to go measure some steps for me in Belgium.
Our first problem comes from Josh. And Josh just says, how many bees would it take to lift a person?
1.5 million.
Cool.
Done.
Ding.
That's it. Excellent. Thank you. I realise Maybe I talk too much doing the solutions to these problems.
Sure. You took a beeline approach.
Yeah, exactly. I took a beeline right to the answer. Good work. That's why this podcast works. I say a number, you make a joke.
Done.
Job done.
That's why you're the
1.5
Howard Moon
million.
and
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
the Vince Noir.
Exactly. Although while we're chatting about it, do you know how they work out how much a bee can lift? Because I had to work out how much a bee can lift.
Now, is this like as if they were carrying you into the sky?
Into the air,
with
yes.
it?
Yes,
Like,
lifting you up.
yeah. Because otherwise, if it's how much they can lift, is it like, could you lie on their backs? You know?
No, suspended from beneath a bee.
Okay.
Bees.
I don't know how they measure that. Honey to the bee, that's you for me. Honey to the bee, that's you for me.
Okay, I got it. There's two ways that people have calculated how much a bee can lift, and they actually give different results.
Is it that they give the bee a tiny dumbbell and they spot them?
So close. So close.
Oh.
Why not? They both involve getting a thread and attaching it to the bottom of the bee.
Oh no, how?
It involves attaching one tiny weight to the abdomen of an insect with a string. I think they just use like bee-safe glue.
Oh, I mean, that's a real... I hope so.
I hope so.
Because science
sounds like
is
another-
famously
Famously kind
to
to all
animals.
insects and animals. That's
The thing is, like, glue's quite, like, weighty, so it'd have to be super light.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
they-
it would affect the...
they do factor in the weight of the.
Why don't they
animal.
just put heavier and heavier glue on it? Why do they have to do the thread?
Just more and more glue? It might impede the flying process. They just add more honey to it.
Yeah.
So there's two ways of doing it. One is you put a weight on the bee via the string and see if it can fly off or not.
Okay.
And then you put a heavier weight on, see if it can fly off or not. And you gradually increase the weight until the bee can no longer fly away. And then they take the average of the heaviest weight the bee could fly away with and the lightest one that it couldn't. And they average the two and they work out that's what it can carry.
Okay.
Or you get a long thread with lots of beads, like weights all the way along it.
I thought you said bees. And I was
Bees.
like, what?
Beads? So you get
Little Arrested Development, yeah.
good joke. You get a long bit of string
Yeah.
or thread with one bee, several beads.
Got it.
And so the beads, the bee then tries to fly away and they look at how many beads it can lift off the ground before it can't lift any more up.
Okay.
The first method underestimates the strength by 18% compared to the second method. So to recap, the lift several different weights, average the last two, was underestimating by 18% the amount that they saw the bees lift with the beads on a bit of thread.
Got it.
Routine. And the short answer is, on average, a bee can lift about 53% of its body weight.
Okay.
Standard bee.
How much can a human lift, do you
Oh.
know, of its body weight?
On average or like world record?
On average.
Okay, let's have a look. What's the average deadlift?
Honey to the bee, that's you for me. Honey to the bee. Do you think we'll have to pay royalties on these because I sound exactly like the original?
It'll trip the copyright.
Yeah.
Okay, so strengthlevel.com and it wants to
This is
know
what this podcast has come to.
wants to know where you are on the strength level spectrum. Beginner, novice, intermediate, advanced, elite.
Oh, where am I?
Yeah.
Beginner.
You can lift your body weight. 100%.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I don't know if they've ever seen me hanging from some monkey bars, but
Yeah,
it
good
don't
point.
last
No.
long.
Novice, 1.5 times your body weight. Intermediate, twice your body weight. Advanced, 2.5 times your body weight. And elite lifters, 3 times their body weight.
But so what this
With
is
training.
saying is that humans can carry more of their own body weight than bees can.
Yes. But these are people who've trained. I guess beginner is untrained because these bees didn't train to have thread glued to their abs.
No, that's true.
Yeah.
Also, I'm not trying to fly with they've already carry their own
this
body
is in
weight.
addition to your own. But they are flying it off the ground. You're right. So flying is your own body weight.
So technically, bees
Technically.
can carry 153%
Yeah.
of their body weight.
That makes them novice lifters. Don't tell the
So
bees.
bees are stronger than me, is what you're saying.
There are different types of bees. Now, I've done that for honeybees, the standard kind of European honeybee. I've not looked into like orchard bees, which are native to like Central and South America.
Oh, yeah.
They can lift like their own body weight again. So there are other bees are available. But if you're looking at your honeybee, 53% of the body mass. Now, I put in my mass, and that's how I got 1,497,481 bees. Do you want to know how many bees it would take to lift you back? Do you want to type your mass in kilograms into this cell in a spreadsheet?
Okay. I am 59 kilograms.
Oh my goodness, you're barely wearing it. Okay, here we go. 1 million bees could lift you up back. What about the strongest insect?
Ooh, ants? Everyone talks about ants.
You want to go horned dung beetle.
Ah.
This is so ridiculous.
Yeah, because they can rule around like massive...
I don't know if I believe this.
Hang on, how much can a dung beetle carry?
Well, according to the calculations, 3 of them could lift you.
So if I stepped on 3, they'd be fine.
They'd be like, excuse me, and lift you up and off.
Yeah, nah.
And if we go back to this guy, 4.
Right,
4 beetles could lift me.
right.
Because, according to research, they can lift up to 1,141 times their body mass.
Yeah.
1,000 times.
Yeah.
100,000% of their body mass.
And is there any source for this?
Well, this is why it swings back into me believing it. You wouldn't believe which 2 universities collaborated to do this research.
Is this like clickbait?
It's like, yeah, you wouldn't believe.
It's the nerdiest
Academics
clickbait.
are shocked. It was a combination of Queen Mary, University of London, which is the university I worked for 10 years,
Oh, it couldn't be wrong then.
and the University of Western Australia,
Oh, wow.
where I was a student for 5 years.
I love that this has convinced you more.
Oh, yeah. What are you trying to say there? Their standards are so low.
Oh, to be honest,
in terms of
when you
staffing
said,
and students.
You wouldn't believe. I was like, so like Cambridge and Oxford got together. And...
Nah, I think even more academically distinguished and achieved. Queen Mary and UW.
Yeah.
And they worked together.
Uh-huh.
They got the beetles, glued a thread to them. Classic scientist move.
It's almost like this maybe isn't the best method for measuring how much they can
Glued
carry.
a thread to them, ran the thread over a pulley, because now they're not flying, they're like just pulling.
Yeah.
And then they put water in a bucket, and they gradually increased the water until the beetle couldn't like drag the thread to lift it up anymore.
How much does a dung beetle weigh?
Dung beetle is 21.26 grams per beetle.
And it was how much
11,
of their mass?
1,141 times.
So if you times that,
Yeah.
then we'll get how much water?
And it was in the bucket. Yeah. 24 and a quarter litres.
No. Dung beetles cannot
Big
lift
old bucket.
24.
I know. It's ridiculous. If it wasn't for the caliber of the institutes involved in the research.
Do you know what, though?
It was published in...
Is that saying how much they can lift or how much they can drag?
Well, they were dragging the thread. That was then lifting the...
Okay, but what about those strong men that can, like, haul a jet?
Oh, yeah, but that's because it gets rolling. That's inertia. There's no inertia in lifting a bucket. I was as skeptical as you.
Because I reckon I could pull
Yeah.
more weight than I could lift.
Actually, an important point here, which you've hit upon, is this... Like, the bees would be attached to you by a lot of strings, and then they'll lift you up.
Yeah.
This case, you would have to have a bunch of beetles pulling threads that go around to pulley that then lift you up. They couldn't drag you because the friction of dragging you would be different to just straight vertical lift.
Yeah.
But pulling horizontal because they're beetles.
I can't, but no, I don't.
It was published in...
I've been published.
It was published in the Proceedings of the Royal Society Bee. That's a serious
Do
academic
they have
journal.
footage?
Would you
Because
be happier
I
with...
had a shipment of, we both buy our oat milk in bulk.
We do.
And I
In
had
cuboids.
50 cartons delivered
50
recently.
cartons of oat
Oh,
milk.
they last me months. Because they're long lives.
They
so
last for a long time. Yeah.
The delivery guy
Yeah.
was delivering them to, like, bringing them up the steps to me in 12 batches of 12.
Yeah. I mean, that's like my
12
suitcase
litres.
from going to the States. 24
Yeah.
kilos.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's heavy.
Yeah, nah.
Nah, good beetles.
I can't ding this. You were answering the B
I've
question.
asked you a different question.
But I've decided to.
Yeah. Do you want the C? Do you want the
Rescind your
C?
ding.
Do you want the C problem?
I do want the C problem.
Would you accept you could be lifted by 17 cats?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah, absolutely.
There you go.
Yeah.
But you don't believe in the beetles. But to go back and answer our previous question, it's roughly 500,000 bees per 30 kilos of body mass, which is why you require 1 million bees and I require 1.5 million. I feel like that solved the problem as stated.
Yeah. Do you know what?
You give me a ding, but not a dung beetle.
Not a dung.
No dung.
Okay, yeah, you get a ding, but not a dung.
We'll get it done.
Now you and I just need a red carpet event where we can rock up carried by bees.
I mean, I did look into the logistics of, I suspect the crowding of the bees would mean that they couldn't fly freely if there's a million bees all trying to pull you straight up. And then the apparatus for all the bees to be able to combine their lifting power is itself going to take some mass. So
Yeah.
I think practically.
Well, I just want everyone to know that we're copywriting this Pixar film idea right now.
The dung beetle one, right? Dung beetle in a suitcase. That's a Pixar film I've ever heard of one. Okay, Beck, we got a problem in from Jens W. Jens. They say, I've heard that honey can't get bad over time. Is that true? And if it is, why? Sub-problem. Also, are there other foods with basically infinite shelf life? Now, I should flag up, we actually had a very similar problem sent in by someone named Marcos, a full name Marcosine. So it's obviously a common problem. Does honey last forever?
Yeah. Now, obviously, I wanted to answer this on this one because it felt like a good fit
Right.
with yours.
Oh, yes, we're doing a bee special.
Yeah. B-side.
The mighty Beeush. That's the
Yeah, that's
the theme
nice.
of the episode.
The flighty Beeush.
Oh, that works too.
Now we've got to get Flight of the Bumblebee as our outro
Yeah,
music.
fly out the bumble business.
Yeah, I'll do it. I'll sing everything.
Yeah, that would be great. For copyright reasons, that's excellent.
Yeah. So they've heard that money can't get bad over time. Is that true? And why? So, yes.
Oh,
In
we are efficient today.
I know. I just thought, yeah. So it's
Bam,
true.
ding. Right,
It
moving
is
on.
true.
Yep.
And I can say why.
Oh.
And I can say this with a level of confidence, potentially more confident than...
And my dung beetle.
Yeah.
Luck. Right,
That was,
carry
oh my
on.
goodness, that was like the beginning of an evil laugh.
Oh, really? Yeah, I've been working on it.
Yeah, I'm going to add that to my collection of Foley sounds.
Horde of dung beetles. Do my bidding.
So this is from the Smithsonian magazine. Archaeologists found pots of honey in ancient Egyptian tombs
What?
that are like over
How
5,000
ancient? 5,000?
5,000
That's a lot of
years
years.
old. And the honey is still edible.
What?
Yeah. Now
That's the
there
most
are-
unbelievable thing in this podcast.
okay. So there are provisos,
Right. Of course there are.
mainly that the honey needs to be left sealed,
Ah.
which is kind of, that makes sense.
Ah.
Now, they didn't say what food can you open and eat continuously
No,
over
good point,
time.
good point.
It was just like, are there any foods that can last forever?
Yeah.
They haven't even said that you could eat, but I'm
Get
going to
bad
add
over
that
time.
proviso
Yeah.
that you need to be able to eat it.
makes
Because
sense.
there are examples of other foods that have been found, but they're not ones that you'd want to eat.
Oh.
Yeah. Like, for instance, there was a barrel of Irish bog butter.
Bog butter.
Yes. Which is a
Can't
butter.
believe it's bog butter.
Yeah. Which was like 3,000 years old.
Oh.
But they'd said by the time they found it, it was had turned into like a fatty white substance called adipocere. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. ADIPOCERE.
And this is like...
Which is basically what the white fatty deposit left when, like, you get the same when you open up a very old coffin. Like corpses leave this. Yeah, so you probably don't want to be putting it in your mouth, is what I'm saying.
But the honey was still edible.
The honey was still edible.
And you might want to eat it.
And you could eat it, yeah. Now,
Gotcha.
the reason is to do with several factors
Right.
that make honey also such a good medicinal
Okay.
thing.
Yep.
So one of the main reasons is that honey is a sugar.
Oh.
Yep. And sugars are hygroscopic.
Hydroscopic.
Hygroscopic.
Hygroscopic.
Yeah. So, like, if your jar of honey is unsealed, it will suck in moisture.
Moisture.
Yeah. Nom, 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 nom.
Got it.
Yeah.
I mean, it flows like a liquid, but so does magma. So
Yeah.
I feel, and that's got very little water content, I suspect. So
So because it's very low moisture, there's not much room for bacteria or microorganisms to live.
there's no room for the bacteria.
Yes. The other reason is that honey is super acidic.
Really?
Yeah. It has a pH between 3 and 4.5.
That is acidic. It's a bit like a soft drink, Coke
Yeah.
or something. Where it
Yes.
is acidic, but there's so much sugar.
Yeah, exactly. You're not really noticing Yeah, that.
You can't taste the protons.
No. So the acid in it will kill off anything else that tries to grow in it.
Handy.
Basically. But the thing that makes honey specifically more long-lasting, I was going to say last-longing.
More last-longing.
Yeah. is that bees have an enzyme in their stomach called glucose oxidase, which is PDF for short, which I find quite funny.
Nice.
I guess that's what you can open in Adobe.
Hey.
Hello, still got it. So
if you make a mistake, it's oxidase.
That's very cute. So when the bees get nectar,
Yep.
and nectar actually does have quite high water.
What?
Yeah, I know.
The
but
twists and turns.
here's the thing. When they're carrying the nectar on their legs, their wings beating helps dry it out.
That's amazing.
Isn't that amazing? So by the time they get to the hive, the nectar's like being dried.
And it means if you were catching 1 million bees to go to an event, you could leave with wet hair.
yeah, they'll do it for you. That's how you get the beehive.
See, the beehive look, that's where the name comes from.
Yeah, that's where the name comes from. So when they put the nectar in their mouths and they regurgitate it, and it comes up with an enzyme from their stomachs, the PDF.
Oxidase.
And then that goes into the combs. The enzyme mixes with the nectar. It breaks it down into 2 byproducts. So there's gluconic acid and hydrogen peroxide.
Oh.
Yeah. And it's the hydrogen peroxide.
Really can do your hair for you.
Yeah, it could. Wait, why aren't we harnessing the power of bees more? Why are we just using their
You
honey?
can dye your hair and do a blow dry.
And they've got combs. I think we're onto something, Matt, which...
We don't want to drone on about it, but...
Some of your jokes are a lot of work.
Worker bee. Okay, calling a truce, and we're moving on with the podcast. You're not. You're thinking of bee puns. I can tell. That's your pun thinking face.
All right. So the hydrogen peroxide will also help kill off any baddies, any bad stuff in there. And this is really interesting. The amount of hydrogen peroxide in honey is it's super minimal.
Yeah.
Like it's very small. It's enough to kill off the little stuff to live in it, but it's obviously not so much that it would harm you.
Perfect amount.
If anything, it is perfect for a topical treatment. We're always talking about like eating honey and that sort of thing, but actually it's perfect to put on wounds.
Really?
Because it creates a barrier.
Oh, yeah.
That
gooey barrier.
It sucks in moisture, so it takes away anything that the microorganisms could grow
live
off.
in. Yep, take that.
And the hydrogen peroxide is apparently like the perfect amount to kill off, like to stave off infection and stuff.
Well, I guess, bees evolved honey as a way to store food. Like, we shouldn't be shocked that honey lasts a long time when that's its sole purpose is
that where honey roast ham comes from?
What, from the wound?
No, you said it was a way to store food.
Yeah.
Did they put ham in honey and that's where they got honey roast ham from?
I don't know.
When did they use honey to store food?
Bees do. The honey is the
bees
food.
do.
Yeah, bees evolved.
Yes.
Bees evolved honey.
Yeah.
I said it before, but
you said it.
Are you still thinking about bee puns?
I was still thinking about... Yes.
Come on, hun. No, I'm saying bees evolved honey as a way to store energy, and so we shouldn't be surprised that they evolved the perfect amount of hydrogen peroxide.
Yeah.
And oopsie-daisy, whatever it was. And so it all kind of works.
Yeah. Then that makes much more sense.
Good. Also ham.
Ham.
I don't know why, but just...
I'd love it if bees
they famously hunt pigs.
Bees invented honey roast ham.
Yeah, they did. A pig ran into a beehive. And bees do have a defensive mechanism where they swarm an intruder to overheat it.
Yeah.
So if a pig did run into a beehive, you would have honey roast ham.
No, that's not a thing. That
What?
they overheat something by swarming it.
Yeah.
No.
That's true.
No.
Producer Lauren?
I bet. Where'd you get that from?
She's gone for the...
2 fake universities.
Hey. Thank you.
Japanese honeybees. So the honey does crystallize though.
Yeah, yes, it does.
So it was very crystallized, the one that they found. But that's fine. It's just crystallized. You can still heat it up and it will return to its natural state.
Oh, that's so great.
Now, if you open your honey can crystallize without being opened. It has to do with temperature and everything else. So if your honeys remain sealed, probably glass is best because I imagine plastic, I don't know, but if the honey remains sealed, then you should, in theory, be able to eat it at any point that you open it. And it might be crystallized, but
it bears repeating that if it crystallizes, you just heat it up and it's honey again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still honey.
Still
it's
honey.
Just, it's crunchier.
Now, when you said you were into this problem, I realized I know 3 people who are into beekeeping.
Oh, apiarists
They're purists.
of apiaries.
Apiaries. And in fact, my maternal grandfather was a beekeeper from back in the day. So I messaged a local friend of mine who keeps bees, and they replied. I just said, look, in the beekeeping community, what's the awareness I didn't know at the time if it was true or not. So I just said, what's the word on the street in the beekeeping? What's the buzz? And they said, the basic answer is yes, in terms of the perceived wisdom with no fact-based research. So within bee people, they said yes. And then they said, I've heard there's been honey found in Egyptian tombs. That was thousands of years old and totally
Yes.
fine. There you are.
Yeah.
Then sometime later, they must have done some research. They sent me a link to this Smithsonian Magazine article.
Oh, yeah.
So I think they
The same
they,
one that
they
I'm-
found the same one that you
Yeah,
found.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that I've done the same amount of research as someone who keeps bees.
Yeah. But you were more informed than them.
Yeah.
Until I
Suck it.
asked them. Yeah.
Do you want some extra bee facts while we're on it?
Please do.
As you know, I went to Italy before
did.
I met with you in New York, and they have this cute little it sort of looks like a tiny truck that's being made on almost like a 3-wheeled scooter thing. If you can
Truck
imagine,
based on a 3-wheel scooter.
if you can imagine like a little 3-wheeled scooter.
Yeah. How are the
And then
2
it's
in the
got-
front, 1 in the back?
No, do you know what? You can sort of get them here. They do those tiny little coffee things on the back. Those really, really tiny
Little coffee
truck-
van things.
Yeah. So
Hipster coffee on the go.
yeah, they're quite popular in.
So it looks like a
Italy and
moped at the
small
front.
towns. No, but these look like little trucks. Like they've got a little truck front and like a little ute
Like a
back.
little mini truck.
Yeah, like a little ute back.
Wow.
Anyway, if you want to look them up, they're called apes. AP, like spell ape, but it's pronounced ape, which is bee
Bee.
in Italian, which obviously links to apiary. I'm imagining Latin.
Do they look like bees?
No, but so
Like the size of a
I was
bee?
like, oh, are they called apes because like a lot of workers, like they're sort of little
workers.
little
Yeah.
worker things. They don't go very
buzzing around,
fast. You sort of only use them within the little town you're in. You don't need a license to drive one. So I kind of want one. But
That could be a stepping stone.
well, and I was saying, is that why they're called apes? And the friends we're staying with said, well, no, it's because they sound like bees. They buzz. They're like, "Bzzz."
Yeah.
And I didn't realize this. Vespa is Italian for wasp.
No.
Yeah.
Because they sound angrier.
Well, I'm guessing. Well, I mean, you know what? I don't think that's. I don't know
They
what.
don't do anything constructive.
I don't know what. Is.
If you look the wrong way, they hurt.
Well, because I was like, why would you call it a wasp? But they were like, yeah, because they're
sounds
like,
like an angry wasp,
Yeah. There you go. So that was a little bee fact. So anyway,
Good bee
that's
fact.
the answer to the to that part. Does honey last forever?
Yeah.
But they also wanted to know, are there any other foods like this? Now,
Why not bog butter?
why not bog butter indeed? So as we know, the honey's got all those right elements that sort of stave off
Yep.
things like that. Now, there's nothing that I found that definitely, you could fairly confidently say you could eat
Yep.
after a long time. However, I found a couple of foods that were consumed long after, and I was trying to see if there was anything that sort of matched 5,000 years or more.
Because there's like YouTube channels where they buy like World War II rations and stuff and eat them.
Yeah, exactly. There have been unconfirmed but interesting stories of hungry explorers, usually Russian ones, taking bites out of mammoth corpses.
I can imagine that.
So arguably older than
Yeah.
the honey.
Yeah, I guess so.
There were confirmed cases of people eating food tens of thousands of years old.
What?
So there were paleontologists who cooked and ate a dish made with the marrow of a 50,000-year-old horse bone.
That's incredible.
And researchers who ate a piece of meat from a 36,000-year-old bison corpse for no other reason than to see if they could.
Well, why that's science in a nutshell. Come on.
Yeah. Now, I mean, they've linked to a Live Science article. Live Science can be a
We
bit hit
are
and miss.
bouncing our way down the internet, aren't we?
Yeah. One thing I did want to say of note was there was the 125-year-old cake eaten by Jay Leno because people were saying that under the right conditions, fruitcake could last forever. Like scientists were saying, like,
With theorizing.
technically,
Yeah, fruitcake.
there's it could. And there was this person called Fidelia Bates who baked a regular fruitcake for Thanksgiving in 1978, and she died before the holiday, and her family sentenced the cake to eternity in limbo beneath a plastic cover.
That's amazing.
And in 2003, the ancient fruitcake got a last shot at life when Morgan Ford, Fidelia's 83-year-old great-grandson, sent it to Jay Leno at The Tonight Show. He took a bite with no visible ill effects.
Wow.
So I think I've answered it.
Yeah. And probably fruitcake with a side of mammoth.
Yeah. So that's the other
jerky.
foods that basically have an infinite shelf life. We don't necessarily have proof of infinite fruitcake.
No,
but apparently it could. Honey, yes. Everything. This is under the right conditions. And
miscellaneous ingredients.
Horse bone.
Yeah, marrow and stuff. Yeah.
Perhaps. According to dubious sources.
Dubious sources.
Yeah.
I would say ding.
Yay.
I think you've done it. I think you've answered all the questions.
Is ding the sound of your microwave after heating your delicious crystallized honey back into its liquid state?
Ready to eat. You can taste the 5,000 years.
And we're coming to AOB, which stands for Appy. OB. So have we got some any other business?
We do. Now, you asked people to send in DJ names.
Oh, yeah.
Because back when she was up at the Edinburgh Festival Fringe, managed to pull an all-nighter, during which, as one of her many adventures, she was invited to do the 3 a.m. DJ slot. But while you were prepared musically, you didn't have a DJ name at the ready. We asked listeners to provide some.
And they
did.
Yeah.
Do you have some favourites?
I did have some favourites. So on that episode, I'd already suggested DJ Be Chill.
Be Chill, yeah.
Yeah, which is just my name of the Space
Moved.
Moved.
The Space Moved, yeah.
Someone else had recommended to me Bex Hill.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I've got to be careful about because, as you know, I'm not keen on people calling me Bex.
No, you're not.
No. So, and I feel like if I went for Dex Hill, I'm inviting that. I don't know why. It's my, ironically, my hill to die on. My hills to die on. So there were a lot, and there's some really good ones. So I want to thank everyone who suggested them. But I thought I would read out my favorites. DJ Misheard Lyrics.
DJ Misheard Lyrics.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And that's because I do Misheard Lyrics stuff for anyone who didn't know. Someone said, given you're Australian, how about DJ G Day? And they were saying, because G Day is good day.
Good day. DJ
nice.
Good day.
There was DJ Flip Flop Anonymous, which is fun.
Flip Flop Anonymous.
Yeah. So obviously flip flops for the Aussiness. And then it sounds like Hippopotamus, which is Flight of the Conchords from our Kiwi neighbours.
Along with the rhinoceros.
Yes. DJ Hillacool.
You're Hillacool.
Yeah. Yep. I did like DJ Spooky Waxwork Ghost Train. I feel like that's something I've missed. I feel like that's a reference to something. And I don't want context.
I don't.
That.
Nor do I. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's your Halloween special name.
Yes, yeah. Someone just said Simon. Not even DJ.
Coming up next. Simon.
Just Simon.
Hello.
DJ B-Side Flips.
B-Side Flips?
Yeah. I also like B-Side because it's like backside.
That's true.
Yeah.
B for back.
And B for back. Nicola Harmon says, DJ Flip It real good. And then to the tune of Salt and Pepper Obs.
Yes.
Yes. Gel or Yell Zudafart. I may be mispronouncing that. So they liked Be Chill. They liked DJ Be Chill. But they said you should have Matt record the line, if there was a problem, yo, I'll solve it. Check out the hook while my DJ revolves it.
Why are they trying to... Don't drag me into this.
I think you should be my hype man.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I'm on board with that.
And then one more that I liked was DJ Lil Sausage, which...
Lil Sausage?
And then they put in brackets, and not a sausage more, which was a poem that I wrote and tweeted a while back about I'm just a little sausage.
Oh, there you go.
Which was surprisingly popular.
Slated to be one of the top 10 sausage poems of 2022.
That's what they say.
Yeah. The highly coveted Snaggers Award.
Oh, nice. Yeah, Snaggers. Oh, I love it.
We should really keep more fresh air in this room and
I know.
this long. I think we've used up our oxygen is what we're trying to do.
We had some more Any Other Business.
We did.
Yes.
Other.
In fact, we heard back from Ben in episode 044 who asked what item under £100 I could put on a utility belt.
To have the greatest reduction in crime.
Yes. Yeah. To prevent the most crime.
Crime.
Mm-hmm.
and you decided to put the concept of hope.
Yes, yeah. But I was asking for
Yeah.
any suggestions.
Well, Ben has replied and says, "Hello, Beck and Matt. Hi, good opening. First, I love how you've gone about answering the utility belt question. Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Does that count as a ding?
I did ask people if they hated how I answered it to say, and we just got some nice responses from people.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that.
That's why next episode will be a 3-hour discussion about universal basic income. It's going to be great. So they made some points in terms of a symbol for hope, because you were crowdsourcing this. They like butterflies. They think butterfly could be a great symbol, but they worry that might be too everyday.
Well, I was thinking about this because I know butterfly it can be a bit standard tattoo idea.
Yes, yeah.
But I do quite like butterflies in the sense of the butterfly effect. The idea that the smallest thing can have a
makes a big
knock-on
difference, yeah.
effect and become a big change.
Love it.
So I kind of warmed to it quite quickly when I thought of it in that respect.
What if it was someone opening a wallet, but now it's a butterfly flying out?
Well, it's usually moths.
Exactly,
isn't it?
but now that's hope. What is a butterfly if not a more optimistic moth?
Well, what is a moth if not a butterfly with a warm jacket?
There you are. Yep.
So
neither of those things probably, but
yeah.
please,
Which I kind of
please do not email us with the differences between moths and butterflies.
Yes. No. So I do quite like that.
You're right. I like the butterfly effect.
Yeah, we did
Angle.
have something from someone else who wrote into the problem posing page about Jewish spiritualism and how they have 2 phrases that they carry with them. You mentally carry one in your left hand and one in your right hand.
Right.
One is, I am like dust and ashes. I am dust and ashes. And then the other is, the whole world was made for me, only me.
Oh, wow.
And then sometimes they'll have them on 2 pieces of paper, one in the left pocket, one in the right.
For both ends of the important spectrum.
On one hand, you've got, I am like nothing but dust. It's like the same, we're all kind of the same thing.
Pro-dust.
Yeah. And then on the other hand, the world is made for me. It's meant to remind you that you are still important and have the power to change things. It's meant to be humilifying.
Yep.
Humbling.
Humidifying. It's like an anti-honey.
So perhaps a problem squared needs 2 phrases. One to make you feel humble.
Yep.
The other one to make
you
feel like I'm capable of making big
confident.
change. Yeah, confident. I like that.
Can one of them be, oh, yeah?
Yeah, nah.
The other one's like, yeah, nah.
It's just yeah, nah. It's
nah, yeah.
Yeah, it's the confident one, and nah is the...
Yeah, nah.
Sure. And then what it is, so what are we saying? We're all going to get tattoos of butterflies with yeah, nah.
Yeah, nah. Yeah on one wing, nah on the other.
Also, I interrupted you. You hadn't finished reading Ben's response.
Ben does also say that they would love to commission an artist of your choice to design a symbol inspired by hope divided by change. Sorry, hope/change as a gift to the podcast using your favorite response. I think the yeah, nah butterfly.
Do you think that it should
Can you do better
should
than...
be a symbol of a butterfly with yeah, nah. Do you want yeah divided by nah?
No, just yeah on one wing, nah on the other.
Oh, yeah on one wing, nah
Yeah,
on the other.
yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Nah.
Finally, we offered pun closure,
Oh, yes.
which is important. You had a buffed coconut.
Yes, I had a very strong French coconut puppet.
Coconut puppet.
We put the video on Twitter. We asked people what the pun was.
And just to recap, it was something called a shy.
Coconut shy.
Coconut shy.
Yeah.
I said it's Shy Lester Stallone.
Yeah, it was meant to be a celebrity's name. Yeah.
Thank you. And I thought that was pretty good.
It's very good.
Was the correct answer better?
I mean, I think so. And
you
people got
are
it.
entitled to say that.
People got it.
Oh, they did?
Yes.
What was it?
It was Shia LaBeouf.
Shia LaBeouf.
And a final bit of any other business was that we are almost at 900,000 downloads.
It's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
I mean, I was underwhelmed because I view it from like a YouTube stats.
I know, mister. I get millions
No, I'm
of
just saying.
views.
No, but as you explained,
As I
that's
explained,
very good for a
podcast
podcast.
numbers are different.
Yeah, exactly. It's way more commitment to listen to us. Go on and on.
So if what should we do to
So the
celebrate?
big 1 million. So we need to do a big 1 million thing.
Yeah, how should we celebrate?
I've recalibrated that 1 million downloads is like when you hit 1 million subs on YouTube. Like it's the big, coming of age. Yeah. But we need to celebrate somehow.
We do.
That's a problem for our listeners to solve.
Yeah, tell us.
It's your fault we got here.
How should we celebrate?
And tell your friends about this podcast. We'll get there faster.
Yeah. Tell us how to celebrate at A Problem Squared on Twitter.
It could be anything. It could be a themed episode.
Yep.
Could be a location episode. Could be a specific
Challenge.
problem. Challenge.
A million things to
Could be
eat.
a party. Yeah, exactly.
All the honey we could dream
What would
of.
it be?
Hey,
Don't be limited by our suggestions.
you know the musical interludes that we have between each section?
Mm-hmm.
You could say that there are stings.
Hey! Oh my goodness! She did it! You landed it! Ooh.
Moving swiftly along, we got to thank our Patreon supporters.
Who are amazing.
Obviously, we thank all of you for listening. If you weren't, this would just be Matt and I chatting to
Just
each
us hanging
other.
out.
And then Lauren just watching. She wouldn't get to join in.
It's a bit
She
weird,
just
actually, when
watch.
you
It's
say
kind of
that.
creepy, if anything. So the Patreon supporters especially make it less weird.
Less creepy for
Because
Lauren.
now we get to pay someone to listen to us
to our
in silence.
conversation. But also to shut up.
And the Patreon supporters are why we can provide this podcast for free for everyone, and so that there's no advertising or anything like that. Yeah. So we like to thank 3 of our Patreon supporters at random. Thank 3 random.
I accept that random.
Yeah, we should just thank
Just
them
like
in the show.
One day we're just walking down the street and we yelled Patreon's name.
I do that anyway, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Thank you. I shout.
So this episode we are going to thank
Camden Blake.
Princess Sparkles.
Connor Jones.
No.
Oh, sorry. Connor James. But they haven't got a space. That's all one word. Maybe I pronounced it wrong. Connor James.
Connor Ames.
Connor Ames.
Con nor James.
Connor James. Support us on Patreon and you too could have your name
Miss
mocked. Not mocked.
like a
Played with.
friendly.
Toyed.
I'd also like to thank you, Matt Parker,
Thank you.
for sharing in this.
Hive of activity.
Yes, yep. And my Howard Moon B pun.
Yep.
I thank myself, the Vince Noir, Bins Noir, and the Naboo of this
Oh, well done.
show, Lauren Armstrong Carter. Apologies to anyone who's never seen A Mighty Boosh. One day you'll watch it and you'll be like, haha, I get it.
Be gone.
So, Matt,
Back.
I probably should have brought this out the last one because chronologically speaking, this came from a trip before America.
Oh,
But of course,
what have you been holding back?
someone was in Italy.
Oh, you got in Italy. So we're traveling the world trying to find a replacement for Twisties, the Aussie snack. And you found Fonzie's is the same logo.
Now, I think we've brought this up.
I think we've
before.
mentioned this before, but oh my God, mini packs of Fonzie's.
Yeah.
Oh, they're not Twisties. They're anemic Twisties.
Yeah, the
they never
logo
smell
does
good.
look like Australian Twisties.
Yeah, but not.
But when you open
they're
them,
like real pale.
they look like Twisties, but they're the opposite of Cheetos.
You know what they look like? Twisties that
Chicken
have been
Twisties.
living in the UK for 17 years.
They do look like that. They also
They're
look
Twisties
like the
that
chicken
moved to Europe,
Twisties,
yeah.
which are like that. But
Oh, yeah, right, yeah. The
fla-
texture's pretty
it's
good.
not dissimilar, is it?
No.
Now, I'd had
Ooh.
Fonzie's in the past and was like, these are nothing like Twisties.
I think your
I think
aspirations increased.
I
but
had
your
a
standards
bad
have lowered.
pack, or my standards have lowered. I think these are almost like they're like
Yeah.
if chicken Twisties met up with cheese Twisties.
Yeah, they're like the hybrid Twisty.
But instead of like it multiplying flavor, they cancel some flavor out.
These are both, in terms of packaging and content, the closest.
So there you go, Fonzie's. Not quite Twisties, but pretty close.
Tasty though.
Hey, that was my Fonz joke.
Is that your Fonzie?
Fonz B.
The episode's over.